You may be feeling like this right now.
I'm just gonna take a quick nap. Wake me up tomorrow morning.
And maybe you think that this exhaustion is some kind of depression, unhappiness, stagnation, or even boredom with your life. But what if I told you that there's something spiritual going on behind the scenes that's making you feel this way? And in this video, you'll learn what this spiritual phenomenon is and 3 tips to help you come out of this tired energy quickly. You'd have to be living under a rock not to notice how much the world is changing, especially after the COVID pandemic. But all of these changes that you see on the surface have an underlying spiritual basis that once understood will make your life a lot easier down here on the planet. Spiritually, we're going through 5 energy phases that explain why you're feeling so damn tired. Phase 1 is called more light. This is because the planet is being inundated with higher concentrations of light, or what's known as light codes, than we ever have before in the history of this planet. And so the more light codes that enter the planet, the more our consciousness ascends and the more the energy of the planet ascends itself also. There is a higher concentration of light than ever before down here on planet Earth, and this is so important to remember because these light codes, this light, really what it represents is just the unconditional love of source. It really is, light just means love. And so the planet is being bathed with higher concentrations of light, and that makes itself known everywhere. That changes everything, and it changes everyone that light touches. This is amazing news because the more light that enters the planet, all that means is that it makes us evolve towards more compassion, love, and kindness towards each other. But there's a temporary flip side to this amazing news, and that's phase 2, which is called chaos. When light comes down, it illuminates everything, and that means that nothing can hide any longer. So the things that used to be festering, the things that used to hide in the darkness because light wasn't accessing it, those things can't exist anymore. And so that leads to a temporary increase in chaos energy. And what that means on the planet is that you're going to see an increase in violence. There may be disputes or wars happen. Systemic injustices are seen. Conflict increases. Essentially, it could feel like the world is going to hell in a handbasket. But this temporary chaos, really what's happening is just that it's because the light is coming in and shaking things up, and that's why the chaos is coming up. You can think of it like a stream or a lake. If you look at a lake and the water is pretty still, or a stream where the water isn't moving a lot, that stillness in the water means that all of the dirt just slowly settles to the bottom. So it looks like the water is crystal clear. But all you need is a big storm or a hurricane to just make that water rage and start moving, and suddenly all of the dirt that was kind of settling at the bottom, it comes to the surface where everyone can see it now. That dirt was always there, it just wasn't seen, and it was kicked up to the surface by this storm. And that's exactly what's happening on planet Earth right now. The light is coming in and it's kicking up all the things that were festering, and that can lead to temporary chaos. Phase 3 is called increased gunk. So when all this temporary chaos comes to the surface, it contributes to something known as the collective consciousness. And the collective consciousness, you can really just think about it like a cloud. So we're all connected to one another, and we all emanate emotions, feelings, thoughts, and that energy is thrown out, and it contributes to this collective consciousness, which is a cloud, an energy that connects all of us. You could think of it like a hyper brain. So all 7 billion people on the planet are connected to this collective consciousness by all the thoughts and emotions and feelings that we emanate every day. When there's a temporary chaos that comes up, like violence or wars or the agitation that's happening right now, that means that more people are contributing an energy that is more around fear, stress, anxiety, anger, and that makes the collective consciousness, the vibration of the collective consciousness, dip lower. And what happens here is that it creates a level, kind of like, it's almost like the planet is covered by a layer, a thick layer of what looks like to me like gunk. That's why I call it gunk. So there's a thick layer that surrounds the planet that's really just the collective consciousness, the vibration of the collective consciousness that dips down a little bit from all of these billions of people sending to that collective consciousness emotions that are a little bit denser. And that cloud of consciousness, we are all connected to it. So we're affected by the overall vibration of the collective consciousness. And this really is called the energy of contagion, all right? And we've all seen this at some point where if you're in a group of people that's emanating peace and stillness and quiet and love, you feel that contagion of energy and you can feel that energy on top of you. But the reverse is also true. If you're in a group of people that are really angry or really agitated, just really pissed off, likelihood that you may have that energy affect you, and that's called energy contagion. An example of this would be the recent shootings in California, mass shootings, where one mass shooting happens, then a couple of days later another one, then a couple of days later another one. This is an example of energy contagion that happens when the collective consciousness is polluted with dense energy and then everybody else gets affected by it. So this is a good example of what I call negative energy contagion, and that's when the negative emotions or negative feelings that people are feeling, when they affect that collective consciousness, then it's going to bounce back on us and it's going to affect the behaviors of people on Earth. But also it'll create this thick layer of gunk around the planet that affects each and every one of us down here. Phase 4 is called heavy weight. So that energy gunk that surrounds the planet, the thicker that gunk is, the more you are going to feel it on your body, and you're going to feel it on your mind, body, and soul. And the reason for that is that collective consciousness is so polluted with thicker, denser emotions that it's going to affect you individually, and you're usually going to feel this in the form of feeling like you're carrying a weight. So you can think of it like you walking around carrying lots of luggage on top of you. So maybe there's a bag for violence, a bag for political unrest. Maybe there's a bag for wars, or a bag that represents police brutality. This is all added to the collective consciousness, and you begin to carry it like heavy bags. Then you go about your day walking around with all of this energy gunk on top of you.
Oh, I'm exhausted. I wonder why I'm so tired. Oh.
Phase 5 is called difficulties connecting. So when all of this energy gunk settles on top of you, it doesn't just make you feel tired. It can disconnect you from source. There's this beautiful, loving energy of God or source, whatever you want to call it, and that energy is always available to you. But when you have that thick layer of energy gunk that you're carrying on top of you, that connection can sometimes be harder to feel.
Hello, God. Can I get a hug?
So this negative energy gunk not only weighs you down, but it also disrupts the streaming of God energy to you. And that's why you're tired of life right now. But don't worry, because it doesn't mean you're a lost cause. There are things you can do that can get you out of this energy funk relatively quickly. The first thing you can do is daily clearing. So it is absolutely essential that we do daily energy clearings down here. And you can think of these daily energy clearings in the same way that you just take a shower every day. So no one questions taking a shower every day, and the daily energy clearings are also just as necessary. Think of them exactly as you would think of taking a shower every day. Clearings can be as simple as smudging yourself with a Palo Santo or a sage as you hold a really powerful intention to clear your energy. Or you can visualize a light shower coming over your body as you say, "I clear dense energies in all directions of time." Whatever clearing technique you use to clear your energy, please make sure to do it every single day. And pretty soon, you will feel much lighter.
Whew! I feel so much lighter.
The second thing to do is inner connection. So there's this common misconception that God or source energy is out there somewhere. And that's partially true. God energy is out there, that's true, but God or source energy is also in here. You have God energy within you. You are a part of God. You are a part of this universe. So that God energy is within you. And spiritual people right now need to learn how to access that inner connection, especially when the energy gunk around the planet is really thick, because it's going to be harder for you to access the God energy outside of you. So cultivating the inner connection, knowing that that silent, still voice in your heart is also God, and that you don't always have to reach outside of yourself to reach for source energy. This is a really important spiritual skill that needs to be developed, especially in times of great chaos on the planet. And this energy can be felt at the level of the heart. So every day I intend to start my day and finish my day by cultivating this inner connection at the heart. I talk to God, I connect to God, I have this inner conversation with the source within me. I ask the energy of God to make itself felt within me. The more you cultivate this inner connection, the less you'll feel the heaviness of the gunk and the heaviness of the world. The third thing to do is don't feed the gunk. All right, so in this time right now, especially when there's a lot of chaos coming to the surface, your power of discernment is really important. So every day you have a choice to make. It's either that you're going to contribute to the negative emotions in the collective consciousness, or you're going to contribute to a higher energy in the collective consciousness. And this is your choice. This is where your discernment comes in. The more that you vibrate those higher emotions, peace, calmness, joy, just compassion, empathy, the more you'll be contributing to the overall vibration of the collective consciousness going up instead of coming down. There's an old Cherokee parable that talks about this really well. It's about a young Cherokee boy who comes to his grandfather with a big problem. He tells his grandfather that he feels like he has two wolves living inside of him. One is peaceful and joyful and loving, and the other is envious and greedy and angry. And he tells his grandfather that these two wolves are always fighting inside for control of his spirit. His grandfather says, "I have those wolves inside of me too, and so does everyone else." And the boy says, "Which wolf is winning inside of you?" And Grandpa says, "The one I feed." And this is exactly what you need to be doing on planet Earth right now, especially in these times of chaos. You have to have your powers of discernment really, really high, and you have to be conscious of where you put your energy. Whatever wolf you feed is the one that's going to win. Now, you may be tired because of everything I talked about in this video, but your exhaustion may also be coming from something you haven't healed yet. And if that's the case, check out this video here where you'll learn about one of the hardest things that any of us will ever have to heal and the steps you can take to overcome that energy.
Deixa eu só pular aí no sítio.